What's up guys, today we're going to be doing a part 2 of the Dauntless build series, which in all honesty was supposed to be part 1 but now it's part 2, but it is what it is. Today we will be doing damage and wound builds. Now when I say damage, I don't mean instant killing behemoths or hitting numbers like 500k or 300k. When I say damage, I mean doing a lot of damage that is not only effective and satisfying to look at, but it's fun for not only you, but everyone else as well. Obviously, it's not a competitive advantage, it's just for the fun of being able to kill behemoths a lot faster than the average Dauntless player. But, when I say wound, I mean acidic, which if you don't know what acidic is, then you'll learn in this video. These wound builds are for people interested in wound damage, but don't constantly want to use the heavy attacks on Chainblades. It'll be with everything from light attacks to your slam. You can incorporate savagery on these builds if you want, but I'll mention later on in the video why I didn't put savagery. But anyways, let's get into the builds. Alright guys, so for this build, this is going to be the shock pure damage build. So obviously, none of these builds, as I stated at the beginning of the video, none of these builds are gonna be like meta builds or like anything crazy. It's just, you know, a bunch of random stuff that I put together that I thought would be cool, you know. So if any of you guys wanted to try something new out, or if you guys wanted to try something out, you could, you know. It's just a bunch of random stuff that I put together. But yeah, so if you're looking for like crazy meta builds, there's gonna be some in here. I just, for this section, pure damage, it's not gonna be anything meta. Obviously, meta does entail doing a lot of damage, but I want this to be like, you know, all damage items, you know, not, oh, if you do crit damage or if you do stagger damage, you know, there's sections for each of those. So there'll be I'll do timestamps as well. There'll be so far the list consists of pure damage, which is this, so you're just doing adrenaline for the extra 3% damage when you're missing 10 stamina that you're missing. Catalyst is for the damage tonic, but it also helps with the lantern tonic and the attack speed, since we have reduce, which takes down our attack speed, and then the lantern is going to be doing the extra damage that we need. So we need extra charge rate for the lantern, but it's mostly for the damage tonic because this is pure damage. We have overpower, which is damage against staggered behemoths. Reduce, which is 50% increased damage but minus 30% attack speed. Etheric attunement, which is a part of the bond we are using. We're using the bond because it has 30% damage versus behemoth tails, which obviously, if you're running a regular shock build, a lot of the time you're just gonna run Savit's bond. But for this specific build, you know, for this section, we're using this for the increased damage. So it has increased damage against tails. And then obviously the etheric attunement is perfect because, once again, like I said, increased charge rate for the lantern, so that way you can be doing the extra damage with the lantern. Predator, this is if you know, you can dodge and you can avoid getting hit pretty well. It'll do 14% increased damage, but you lose that damage when you're hit. And as you guys saw throughout the whole video, or throughout this whole section, I'll be getting hit a lot. I'll probably be getting hit the entire video because I suck terribly at this game, but yeah. So +3 predator for the increased damage if you can dodge. +3 rage for the 20% damage. So this is specifically for if you put together the predator and the rage, you're obviously going to be dodging the whole time, so you'd be wondering, okay, well then how would I take damage if I'm trying to avoid damage? So Revenant, when you use Revenant, it does damage to your health. Like, it takes your health away. It wouldn't be considered being hit, but it does damage. Therefore, it still counts and procs rage, which gives you increased 20% damage. Now, however, it can also be used as a failsafe. If you're using Predator and you're doing really good, you know, you're dodging all the attacks and stuff, and then you get hit, you lose Predator, but then comes in Rage, which gives you the extra 20% damage in its place. Then we have Tenacious. That was just so I could put this build together, so it's not really like gonna be crazy useful for this build, but it adds on to the damage, so it helps a little bit. So I think I had like 1000 something, whatever, that's like 10% extra damage right there just for having this on your build. But yeah, so that's the perk summary for this build. And then obviously we have our tonics, which is Aether Drive tonic, which is for increased lantern ability cooldown. Blitz tonic, which is increased attack speed, and Frenzy tonic, which is increased damage, which is what we want. We have the Pangar Shrine. You could use any of these lanterns for damage, or I'd say the main three you'd want to use is Draxsky, Embermane's Rapture, or Pangar's Shine. You can use Broadside's Lantern. I've never used it, so I can't really give an opinion on it, but it is another damage lantern. The Koshai's Bloom is mainly for like dodging attacks, kind of getting out of the way, and also the extra life steal when you go to dodge the attack. It does do damage, but I don't usually use it because it's kind of hard to control when you're trying to aim at the behemoth to do damage on it. So I wouldn't recommend it, but if you want to use it, you can use it. You can use the Skarn's Defiance if you want to do damage with the rocks, Terra damage. Or if you just want to increase shield, you don't want to die as often, but this is for pure damage, so obviously I'm not using this. There's a section for this, which if you're looking for shield builds, there will be, that will be in the tank section, pure tank section, and I don't think I have a, yeah, there's no shield build up, so yeah, you'll be looking in the tank section if you want shield builds. So in the tank section, all of those will be shield builds. They will all use Skarn's Defiance, and they will all use they will all use Skarn's Defiance, and I'd say, I mean, they're all gonna have Bastion on them, but you can use anything else if you want to. Iceborne as well if you're going to the tank section, but we'll wait till then to talk about all that. But yeah, and then we have the Electric Cruelties because this is shock, pure damage. Then we have Reaper's Dance for the slam, and then we have Hurricane Blades for the extra damage every time you use the blade spin attack. It'll stack. I think it stacks. I think it stacks as many times as you need it to, as long as you're using the blade spin. But yeah, so that's this build. Yeah, so let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, so for this build, this is the Blaze pure damage build. It's pretty much the same as the shock one, except there's some changes. So we still have adrenaline, we still have +6 catalyst, both for the same reasons as before. +6 overpower. We have +6 predator now to give us 35% damage after avoiding damage for 15 seconds. I switched it over to predator because obviously when you use a different element, you get different, results. This one for the bond is Inferno's Fangs, which gives you +3 overpower instead of +3 aetheric attunement. So I would have to switch it over and try to flip it around and make the build work. I didn't want to add aetheric attunement to this build, I just wanted it to be pure damage, and then I added +3 molten because you're using a blaze build, and obviously if you're using a blaze build, and half the time a lot of people that use one element, they don't want to fight the same element. But obviously if you're running blaze, say you're doing the blaze escalation and you want to run a blaze weapon, you can be resistant to fire while also doing a lot of fire damage. And yeah, obviously it's not gonna proc flame like blaze damage, but you're still doing a lot of damage. So this whole video is just gonna be me fighting basically against the same element that we are using for each build, because it shows that you can basically fight literally anything. If you can beat a blaze behemoth with the blaze weapon, then you can fight any behemoth with the blaze weapon, right? So that's the goal for that. But yeah, +3 molten for the increased attack speed, because obviously we're still slowed down from the reduce and stuff, so this gives you increased attack speed along with the tonic. And you can also be resistant to fire because you're running fire. So I don't know, I thought it was a cool theme idea. Just, oh, I'm using a fire weapon, so shouldn't I be resistant to fire, because this is all blaze. Whatever, it's dumb, but yeah, that was the idea. And then +3 rage still. And then the bond, the mod and the special are going to be the same throughout this whole section. Actually, I don't think the mod isn't going to change, or the special isn't going to change throughout the whole video. Neither is the mod, because regardless, these are the two best things you could choose. Obviously you can do lightweight chains, or a lot of people like doing serrated blades. We'll do this in the wounding section, but for most of the builds we'll just be using the hurricane blades. The bond is Inferno's Fang. You can either go with Inferno's Fang or charred blades. The reason I chose Inferno's Fang is for the increased blaze buildup, status buildup. Because obviously when you're using a specific weapon, you want to proc your element's status buildup as fast as you can. So that's what we're doing with this. And then every 15 hit in a row does +200 damage. So that's good, because since you're going to be using the blade spin a lot, you're going to be getting a lot of hits in very short amounts of time. So every 15th hit in a row does 200 damage. So that's just extra damage plus increased blaze status buildup, which will do even more damage once your blaze status procs on the behemoth. And yeah, that is that for this video. That is that for this build. Also, I didn't explain in the last build, but the reason why we're using Tragic Echo is because it has rage on it, and we already explained the rage situation. But also with the Tragic Echo, so it says, upon death, become a shadow clone that deals 100% damage for 15 seconds. Resets on behemoth kill or after 15 minutes. So basically, the reason why we're using this is obviously for the 100% increased damage, but also it's also a failsafe just in case you say, let's say you're really low on health but the behemoth you're fighting is about to die. If you die first, you get a second chance to continue fighting the behemoth, finish it off, and then you can die, you know? So it'll be dead. So say you get to the boss or whatever, and you have like no revives left. If you can defeat the boss before the escalate, like before you die, before you basically get sent back to your body to be dead, you still complete the escalation because you defeated the boss in time. So yeah, that is that. You get an extra life for 15 seconds, and then you also get 100% extra damage for 15 seconds. But yeah, that's that for this build. We're obviously using the Embermane's Rapture because this is a blaze build, so extra blaze damage. But like I said before, you can use any of these: Drask's Eye, Embermane's Rapture, Pangar's Shine, Strike Zeal, any one of them you want. You can use whatever, but we used Embermane's Rapture for this build, so yeah. And then the tonics are the same: Aether Drive tonic, Blitz tonic, and Frenzy tonic. our attack speed up a little bit more, since our reduce is slowing us down. We added +3 Berserker, which gives you +2 damage for 3 seconds, and it stacks to 10, which with Chainblades you'll be doing consistent damage. So every hit you do adds a 2% damage buff that stacks up to 10 times. So you can keep it at 10 the whole fight, as long as you're just consistently hitting behemoths the whole time. And we still have our +3 rage because of our tragic echo, which we use a lot because we do die a lot. Our bond is the Stalker's Trap. On chance, after dealing damage, generate shadow orbs that grant 2.25% damage for 5 seconds. At 5+ orbs, the bonus doubles, which means that you'd be at a 22.5% damage once you get 5+ orbs. And basically, I chose this over this because this will be for the crit damage section of this video. That's one reason why I did it. And then also this has the Assassin's Frenzy, which, like I said before, gives you extra attack speed since you're being slowed down by reduce the whole fight. So it just gives you a little bit more attack speed. You get extra damage, not as much damage as you'd get from doing this, but it does give you extra damage, and it also allows you to fight a little bit faster, because this whole section is for people that just want to do damage. Like, you don't care how slow your attacks are hitting or whatever, but this does help. So if you do want to use this, you can on the build, but you would have to. I would recommend using cunning at +6. That's also why we're not using it on this build, because it would only be at +3 cunning. So yeah, so this is the one that I'm using for this build. You can use this one if you want. And then our mod and our special are the same. We are using Pangar's Shine because I do prefer Pangar's Shine over these two, because this one is 1 burst of damage, this one is a strike of damage, and this one is damage over time, which is a lot better than blowing up one time and then having to do it again, or striking one time and having to do it again. This just does consistent damage. So does this, but this is more for shields. But like I said, you can use it if you do want to use it. And then we're using Revenant as well. As you notice, for all these builds, we are using Revenant because it does do the most damage out of all of these, DPS wise. Now, you can get higher damage with Tempest if you make a Tempest build, which we'll be doing later on in the video. Iceborne, you can get pretty good hits. Artificer, you can increase your hits, and also you get extra support options. Discipline, you get increased, you do damage with it once you parry, and you also get increased critical strike chance. But you also, you know, once you get to the max stack for discipline, you pretty much get instant killed no matter what. So that's another reason why you don't want to use this if you're going for a pure damage build, because it's not a tank build, it's not anything that's supporting your health, it's all just damage. So you're basically susceptible to any damage coming towards you, as if you're not able to dodge very well. Discipline, you can use this, but this is probably something more for like a crit build, which even then I'm not going to be using it for crit builds in this video because I'm not really interested in discipline. But you definitely can if you do use one of the crit builds from this video, and if you just want to make a crit build of your own. Bastion you can also use, but you need shields, which would require you to use Scarn's Defiance, which will be in the tank build. So if you want to use Bastion, you feel free to just skip over to the tank builds, and yeah, you can go there. But yeah, So Revenant is the main one that you want to use if you are going for a pure damage build, or going at least for one of the builds in this video. Yeah, so that's it for this build. Let's move on to the next one. every time you break apart, you get 15% increased attack. Alright guys, so for this build, we chopped a lot down, but we did get increased results in my opinion. I don't know, the damage was a lot more. I'm gonna have to show you with the mouse because it's not working on my controller, but or there we go. So we have +6 adrenaline again. We have catalyst still, overpower still. Now we have +6 recycle, which dealing damage to the same part consecutively grants 10 increased damage, and it stacks up to 6 times, which means if you keep hitting the same part, I'd say 6 times, because I don't think it's like combo wise, it's kind of just how many hits you do on that part. But as long as you keep hitting that part, after the 6th time you'll be doing 60% damage to that part up until you hit another part. So there's that. And then we still have reduce, which gives you the 50% increased damage. So overall, with these two combined, you'd be doing 110% damage. And then we have rage. And then weighted strikes just comes with the bond, so that doesn't even matter. That's just there. Tonics are the same. The lantern is Pangar's Shrine. The Omnicell is the same. The bond is Pangar's Claws, which I chose this one because of the ice bomb that it puts on. Or once charged, your next attack places a frost brand that deals 2.5% frost, or 2.5 thousand frost damage. Once charged, your next attack places a frost brand that deals 2.5 thousand frost damage after 30 seconds. Slayers can destroy the brand prematurely, detonating it for 50% increased damage. Charge is every 90 seconds. So that's like a minute and 30 seconds. Every minute and 30 seconds it charges. So I did this for the simple fact that when you use recycle, when you blow up that brand, it's kind of just attacking all the parts at once. So it's kind of like you're hitting every part multiple times, and it's increasing the damage on all those parts at the same time, basically doing overall a lot of damage on each part. And then obviously when you break it prematurely, it does 50% increased damage. So with the recycle and reduce at the 110% damage, with this, once you destroy your frost brand prematurely, you are at 160% damage once you break it. So there's that. And then the special and the mod are still the same. Yeah, that's it for this build. Let's move on to the next. Alright guys, so for this build, we're doing +6 adrenaline, +6 catalyst, +6 overpower, +6 recycle, +6 reduce, and then +3 aether charge or aether hunter is from the bond, but it gives you 20% damage against aether charged behemoths, so that's good. And then we're doing +3 rage. Lanterns ping our shrine. Omnicell is still revenant, and the special and the mod are the same. The bond is Valamir's Revenge. I chose this because, as the description says, once charged, your next attack deals 700 radiant damage. The charge rate increases with higher current health. The reason why I didn't use Fangs of Dawn as you normally would is because of the fact that this will be, once again, we'll be using this for the crit builds. So we have our damage builds, and this will be in the damage build. You can use this if you want to, but make sure you're using +6 cunning. You can use this one if you want to. I was thinking about using this one, but I went for the other one. Yeah, that is this build though. Alright, time to move on to the next section, which will be pure wound damage. So we will be moving on to wound damage. For this section, I will only be doing escalations, because doing escalations and then hunting grounds takes a long time. Yeah, so for this section, I'll only be doing escalations, and then the next section I can see about doing hunting grounds and escalations. So for this build, we are using Catalyst for the wound tonic along with the damage tonic, Predator for more damage, Recycle for more damage, Reduce for more damage, Savagery for more damage on wounded parts, and then Acidic for more wound damage. You transfer your part damage, 50% of your part damage into wound damage, and that'll basically give our regular attacks wound damage, along with our heavy attacks being able to deal more wound damage. And then Etheric Attunement, which just comes with the bond that we're using, which is the same bond that we used for the pure damage build. The Thundering Cutters. So this build is more of like a trial and error build, you know. I tested it out. It did a decent amount of wound damage, but then I realized I could do more. So for this build, this will be the electric build, but for the next builds going forward, I will try to improve more and more on the wound damage aspect of the build. Yeah, let's move on to the next build. Alright guys, so for this build I changed everything out. We have overpower, we have cunning +6 because of the critical strike damage, impulse +6 because of the critical strike damage, gain 10% increased movement speed, critical hit damage is increased by 10% for every 5% increased movement speed, benefiting from up to 50% increased movement speed. So these will be things that you use if you're doing a crit build, but since we're doing acidic and we wanted our damage to be increased, we added this to our wound build so that way we can wound a lot quicker. I will say though, if you are going to be using a build like this, you'll want to make sure that you're doing it with other players due to the fact that there isn't any savagery on this build, and I don't think any build from here forward will have savagery on it. So any of these wound builds that you're going to be using, do make sure that you're doing it with a group of people or another person, you know, someone that is running savagery on their build. Maybe all of you could try making or doing a wound build. I'd say though that make sure that everybody is running savagery with like other damage cells, because of the fact that you'll be the main one doing the wound damage, and if they are war pike users, they're definitely going to be doing base wound damage, so they'll already have savagery on their builds. But if you're running hammer, axe, repeaters, aether strikers, or just chainblades without the acidic on it, make sure that your group is running savagery so that way they do extra damage while you're wounding. And if they also want to help wound, they can. The previous build, they can do that, but use it as a way to help you wound while they're also doing extra damage. But yeah, so that's then we added pulse for the guaranteed crit strike chance at free 5 hits, because when you're running impulse and then you're running cunning +6, you'll have a lot of crit strike damage, but you need, in order to make those actually worth having, you gotta run pulse due to the fact that you'll be getting guaranteed crit strikes every 5 hits. So if you're doing a big hit, say you're about to do a slam, make sure that your crit, you're on your 5th hit, so that way when you go to do the slam, it'll do a critical hit instead of just a regular hit. But yeah, then we have the +3 acidic and the +3 reduced for the extra damage. We're using Strike Zeal for this build due to the impulse. It'll give us more movement speed, which gives us more critical strike damage. And then for the bond, we're running Inferno's Fang. The mod, I was running Hurricane Blades for this build and the previous build, but I'm going to be moving over to Serrated Blades due to the extra 50% critical strike damage, or 50% wound damage. So this will be a part of the build. Moving on to the next build.
while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
I'm at a loss right now. What?
Alright. Sorry, I had to take a lunch break because my headphones were dying. You'll ever just watch Cory Kenshin and then, you know, like you're having a really bad day, or your day's just really boring, and then you watch Cory Kenshin and all of a sudden your day is going so much better. Me too, man. Me too. Alright guys, so for this next build, this is the Umbral build. I used Iceborne. Don't know why I chose Iceborne when it should have been Revenant, but it is what it is. It worked. Catalyst, Cunning, Impulse, Predator, Pulse, Acidic, Reduce. Basically the same layout as the previous build. However, for this one, the bond is Eyes of Night, which when under 20% health, deal 50% damage. Now, that's why you want to run Revenant if you are using this build, because when you get down to 20% health, let's see, when you use Revenant, it takes out a lot of your health. So while you're still in Revenant like Umbral form, you will be doing that extra 50% increased damage plus the extra damage you do when you are in Umbral form. So yeah, this is really useful when you use Revenant with it. I always make sure that if I ever do an Umbral build and I'm using Night Terrors, a lot of the time I will be using Eyes of Night just for the 50% damage buff when I use Revenant, because I do use Revenant a lot. But yeah, that's this build. Moving on to the next.
in motion. I got one shot and I'm wide awake. Sunset, cause I see the way. Won't stop till I'm in the grave. 6 feet deep, yeah. Go ahead, call me insane. I've never been one to behave. Won't stop till I'm in the grave. 6 feet deep, yeah. 6 feet deep, yeah. 6 feet deep, yeah. My goal, my pride, my devotion. I'm set in motion. I got one shot and I'm wide awake. Sunset, cause I see the way. Won't stop till I'm in the grave. 6 feet deep, yeah. Go ahead, call me insane. I've never been one to behave. Won't stop till I'm in the grave. 6 feet deep, yeah. 6 feet deep, yeah. 6 feet deep, yeah. 6 feet deep, yeah. Turn the soldier up like never before. Rise above the flood. Turn the soldier up. Get ready for war. Paid with sweat and blood.
Alright guys, so so for this build, it's literally the same thing, but the last one is +3 sharpened, which comes from the bond. Obviously, the 50% increased damage for the next 6 attacks is what we're there for. The sharpened, it helps because it gives you extra port damage that you didn't have before due to the fact that you are using acidic. Yeah, we used Revenant this time. That's this build. On to the next.
Time to level up, answer to the call, let the army rise. Never holding back, if you stand a chance, fight to stay alive. It's gonna take everything you got. It's gonna take everything you got. I'm coming with a vengeance. I'm coming with a vengeance. I'm fighting through the trenches. There is no place that I'm coming with a vengeance. Can't you see that I'm crashing right into you? built a magic castle for us, but you overeat all my main dreams. And when you tell me that you love me, there's something makes me wanna. Yeah, I remember what we had before, and now to erase it from my memory. Cause you overeat all my maiden dreams, and there's something makes me wanna scream. Yeah, scream. When I'm in your arms, I cannot breathe. Can't breathe. Without you in my life, I feel so alive. When I'm in your arms, I can't survive. Without you in my life, I feel so alive. Without you, I feel so alive. And I know that I'll be happier when we stop this fucking.
Alright guys, so this build is basically the same. The only difference is the bond, which is Pangar's Claw, which we used for the Frost brand. Whenever it explodes, it does a lot, and I mean a lot, of wound damage, as you saw in the escalation. Plus the increased wound damage from the thing that they put on your back in Frost escalations. But yeah, so that's this build. Let's move on to the next.
Without you in my life, I feel so alive. Without you, I feel so alive. 'Cause you're free on my maiden dreams. Something makes me wanna scream. Yeah, scream. When I'm in your arms, I cannot breathe. Breathe. Without you in my life, I feel so alive. When I'm in your arms, I can't survive. Without you in my life, I feel so soon the train will take me home. Now I know what I belong. It feels much better now. 'Cause without you in my life, I feel so alive. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. With crimson secrets and forbidden bliss, can't stay still, don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within, mistakes ignite the silence. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Cause my only crime was hoping there is something more than this loneliness I feel. But no one makes me feel less alive. We're fighting fire. The way you push my buttons just right. We're fighting fire. When two voices of nature collide. We're fighting fire. Can't help but feel the temperature rise. We're fighting fire. We're fire. Maybe if we took a moment, long enough to realize how alike we are, that not everything is broken. Cause you know me better than anyone by far. But no one makes me feel less alive. We're fighting fire. The way you push my buttons just right. We're fighting fire. When two voices of nature collide. We're fighting fire. Can't help but feel the temperature rise. We're fighting fire. We're fire. motion. I got one shot and I'm wide awake. Sunset, cause I see the way. Won't stop till I'm in the grave. 6 feet deep, yeah. Go ahead, call me insane. I've never been one to behave. Won't stop till I'm in the grave. 6 feet deep, yeah. 6 feet deep, yeah.
Alright guys, so for this build, this time we have reduce, and that is because we had an open slot due to the fact that the bond is Fangs of Dawn, which has +3 cunning and has a 12% chance for attacks to hit twice. So yeah, we added reduce for the extra damage. Again, like I said, since this is the end of this section, I'm going to remind everybody, these builds aren't really meant to do increased damage once you wound, it's just to help increase wound damage. So if you have a friend that runs Warpike or that wants to run Savagery, or you want to run this build and you want to help your friends do more damage and have them run Savagery, then that works. You'll do a lot of wounding while everyone else will be able to either help you wound or will be able to do more damage due to your wounds. But yeah, that's the end of this section, so let's move on to the next. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. It helps spread awareness and gets us out there in the algorithm. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and please do share the video. It definitely helps me a lot, but not only does it help me, you'll be helping others by sharing these builds. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Deuces.